So, Dogecoin. It kicked off as a total joke, right? Just a meme with a cute dog. But somehow it's become this massive player in the crypto space. The big question we're tackling today is, what could this thing actually be worth in 2025? Let's get into it. The history of Dogecoin is just a wild ride. It was literally created for a laugh back in 2013. But then 2021 happened. It exploded to an all-time high of 74 cents, and suddenly everyone was talking about it. And get this, just recently, a simple temporary logo change on Twitter made its price jump over 30% in a single day. That tells you everything you need to know. Dogecoin's value is often tied to moments, not just metrics. Okay, so that brings us to the future. As we look ahead to 2025, the source material really paints a picture of three very different paths Dogecoin could take. We're going to walk through all of them: the good, the bad, and, well, the sideways. But hang on, before we even talk numbers, you have to understand this fundamental tension at the very heart of Dogecoin. It's like there are two completely different forces in a constant tug of war over its price. This right here nails the coin's split personality. On one side, you have this incredibly powerful engine of community hype. We're talking viral trends, celebrity tweets from people like Elon Musk. It's the psychology of memes in action, and it can send the price to the moon. But then you look under the hood at the core fundamentals, and they're, well, pretty modest. It has an inflationary supply. Just think of it like this: 5 billion new coins are created every single year. For the price to go up, demand has to constantly, and I mean constantly, outpace all that new supply. Plus, the tech, while it's fast, hasn't really changed much over the years. And all of that leads us to a really crucial idea. Dogecoin is what the experts call a sentiment-driven asset. In plain English, that just means its price is shaped more by public mood and social media buzz than by its actual technology or financial performance. This is the lens we have to use when we look at any price forecast. All right, let's explore our first possible future. This is the optimistic one, the bull run, the scenario where things go very, very right for anyone holding Doge. In this best-case scenario, the price target for 2025 is projected to be somewhere between 15 and 30 cents. That's a pretty big jump from where it's often been. So the question is, what on earth could get it there? So how do we get there? The catalysts are really about catching that lightning in a bottle all over again. First, you'd need a huge return of that market-wide hype, that same viral energy we saw in 2021. Second, what if more businesses actually start accepting DOG for payments? That would give it real-world use beyond just speculation. And finally, all this really needs to happen inside a booming crypto market in general. A rising tide lifts all boats. Now, we have to look at the other side of the coin. Path 2 is the bear market scenario, where the hype just fizzles out and reality bites back. Under these conditions, the forecast drops, and it drops hard, down to a range of just 2 to 5 cents. That would be a really painful drop for anyone who bought in at higher prices. The drivers here are pretty much the mirror image of the bull case. If the tech innovation stays flat, Dogecoin could start to look like a relic. If people just get bored of meme coins in general, that community power really starts to fade. And maybe the biggest one, if governments decide to crack down with stricter regulations, that could throw a wet blanket over the entire crypto market. Okay, so we've seen the high and the low, but there's a third possibility, a middle ground where Dogecoin doesn't crash, but it doesn't exactly soar either. Let's call this the sideways shuffle. In this neutral scenario, the price just kind of consolidates, trading back and forth in a range between 5 and 10 cents through 2025. Not a total disaster, but definitely not a bull run. So, what would keep it stuck in this lane? Well, pretty much the status quo. The value is held up by its loyal community, but it's not attracting a huge new wave of buyers. Its price just kind of drifts along, following the general ups and downs of Bitcoin, without any major news, good or bad, to break it out of that pattern. So we've walked through three very different futures for Dogecoin: the bull, the bear, and the sideways shuffle. Let's pull it all together and figure out what the final verdict really is. This table really lays it all out, doesn't it? The bullish case, hitting 15 to 30 cents, is betting on a perfect storm of renewed hype and actual adoption. The neutral case, holding steady between 5 and 10 cents, that relies on the existing community just holding the line and following Bitcoin's lead. And the bearish path, dropping to 2 to 5 cents, well, that's a story of fading interest and stagnant tech, maybe with a push from regulators. So here's the most important takeaway, the thing you absolutely need to remember. No matter which path it takes, Dogecoin is defined by its speculative nature. The price can swing wildly because of a tweet or a meme, and that means risk management isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely essential for anyone even thinking about getting involved. And all this leaves us with a final, much bigger question. Dogecoin really forces us to stop and think, what does value even mean anymore? When a joke can become a multi-billion-dollar asset, it kind of breaks all the old rules of finance. In a world that's more and more driven by memes and what we collectively believe in, what truly makes something valuable?